Good afternoon. This is Group 8, Kristen Parkinson and Joseph Hughes. We're going over Chapter 20, Convert Local Discoveries into Global Improvements. In this chapter, it discusses how to create a safe learning culture by being open about and learning from mistakes, usually during postmortems, and that learning is openly disseminated through the global organization to encourage global learning and improvements. We also learn about how to become more resilient through practice failures and learning how to correct those failures. When organizations utilize chat rooms to facilitate communication, there are several benefits. Number one is transparency. Everyone can see everything, unlike email communications, which are usually private. There's immediate training for new engineers. New hires can immediately know and see how interactions are performed. They learn by example and see the daily work performed and how it is being performed. We lead by example. When others see us asking for help and receiving it, we're more likely to ask for help when we need it and even offer that help to others. And organizational learning. Through the use of chat rooms, the entire organization can see and learn how work is being performed. An added bonus to that is that all of the records are easily accessed and searchable. Knowledge is easily disseminated, and we can capture organizational knowledge. This process also creates an environment for collaboration through local learning, which could be transferred into learning across the entire organization. One way to avoid unmaintainable applications and environment is to have a company-wide standardized process. This design could be automated and provide a backbone or a blueprint when building new applications. Having this standardized process as part of the global shared knowledge is key to creating consistency, especially in compliance to company policies. Another tool for integrating local discoveries across the organization is through shared source code repositories. Updates are quickly and automatically spread through the entire system, including the deployment pipeline. As with the example of Google, this gives every engineer the diverse expertise of each and every engineer throughout the whole organization. Why do we do this? Well, there's no need to keep reinventing the wheel if it's already been invented or created. Google has created a single code repository. By doing so, everyone on every new build has the latest version of everything. There's no need to keep checking for the most up-to-date versions. It's already there. Everyone benefits from each new tool created. Shared libraries come with all the benefits of significant amounts of automated testing included. All of the documentation behind the testing. This shows other engineers how to use them, as well as teaches them how to include testing into their code. This practice is called test-driven development, or TDD. Ideally, each library should have one owner or a single team supporting it. Additionally, they should only allow one version to be used in production. This protects the goal of a single repository. The owner of the library is responsible for safely migrating each group using the repository. The owner can also be responsible for answering questions through chat rooms. Oftentimes, they can respond quicker than developers. Now, this one is team building. The services include, we have sufficient production telemetry in our applications and environments, the ability to accurately track dependencies, services that are resilient and degrade gracefully, forward and backward compatibility between versions, the ability to achieve data, to manage the size and production data set, the ability to easily search and understand log messages across the services, and simplify, centralize runtime configurations using feature flags and so forth. So by doing so, we start to deliberately design our code and applications so it can accommodate fast flow and deployment, which may, in turn, produce a set of non-functional requirements that we will want to integrate into all of our production services. By building reusable operations user stories, we can have a standardized blueprint for consistency. We can build in automation whenever possible, but for some instances, like manually racking a server, automation is not possible, but we can still have a blueprint for consistency. This can be achieved by documenting the way work should be performed, including where automation should come into play, This enables production teams to better plan and to achieve consistency with repeatable outcomes. Examples include Rundeck to automation and execute workflows, and work ticket systems such as Jira and ServiceNow. Ideally, we like to see teams building and running their own services in the language and framework that best fits their service needs. Sometimes this can create problems when only one team has critical knowledge needed. This can create bottlenecks in the organization and potentially impede progress. To ensure that this does not occur, we want to identify which aspects require deep skill sets and give operations the ability to not be responsible for unsupported platforms. We can ask the following questions of the technology. Does it impede or slow down the flow of work? Does it require disproportionately create high levels of unplanned work? Does it require disproportionately disproportionately create large numbers of support requests, and what are most inconsistent with our desired architecture outcomes? Throughput, stability, security, reliability, business continuity. By removing the problem infrastructure, we allow them to focus on infrastructure that best helps achieve the global goals of the organization. Google calls that the standard the big three, which is the official scripting language, the official UI language, and the official compiled language. These were the buoys of the supported standards. They could rely on the buoys for help. These standards were safe and supported, but they could also decide to try and innovate by pushing the boundaries. Ralph Lauren, the CIO of HP, said, "After all, how are we ever going to see the next innovation that helps us if we are not willing to explore and test the edges?" The Etsy case study shows us how they decided to migrate their entire platform to MySQL in order to standardize onto one supported infrastructure that both operations and development could understand and contribute to. This allowed everyone to see, read, rewrite, and fix each other's code. A lot of great technologies were retired, not because they did not work, but simply because they needed a single repository where everyone could work together. In conclusion, we need to make sure we communicate new knowledge. We need to share source code repositories. Everyone who works should have cumulative experience of the organization. We need to make sure to keep up to date on technology and retire tech to keep that technology standardized. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.